Hey guys, this is Sneaky Pete with Sneaky Shoot RPG, where the ones are awesome. And one of these days we'll believe it. Yeah, they're righteous. I don't have my little cheat sheet. It's a new channel. I'm still learning it. Anyway, we just did a video on Uh-Oh, It's Magic, about spell casting. And I thought I would follow that up. I unintentionally misrepresented the way that wizards work as far as the spells that they have available to them. And I figure a good way of setting that straight is making a video about a wizard spellbook. What's a wizard spellbook, you say? Well, it's part of their starting equipment granted by the class. They get a quarterstaff or a dagger. They get a component pouch. They get an arcane focus. They get one of two kinds of packs, and they get a spellbook. Well, what is that spellbook? Well, as a student of arcane magic, you have a spellbook containing spells that show the first glimmerings of your true power. At first level, you have a spellbook that contains 6 first-level wizard spells of your choice. Your spellbook is the repository of wizard spells that you know, except for your cantrips, which are fixed in your mind. Player's Handbook, pages 114 and 115, if you want to not read along. We're not going to go verbatim the whole thing, but I just want to cover the spellbook. So the spellbook is going to be where you store spells that you can draw from and add them to your prepared spells list each day. Well, preparing spells. You prepare the list of wizard spells that are available for you to cast, i.e. those in your spellbook. To do so, choose a number of wizard spells from your spellbook equal to your intelligence modifier plus your wisdom level, minimum of 1 spell. So let's say you're dumping points into your intelligence stat, since that's a wizard spell casting. So let's say you rolled a 16. Woohoo! So that's in your intelligence. So you've got a intelligence modifier plus 3. Wizard level 1. So that would mean that 3 plus 1, you would have the ability to prepare 4 spells. Now at level 1, you've only got 2 spell slots, but you've got 4 spells to choose from, and not to mention the cantrips that you have available. You can change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest. Preparing a new list of wizard spells requires time spent studying your spellbook and memorizing incantations and gestures you must make to cast a spell, at least 1 minute per spell level for each spell on your list. That means you have 4 first level spell slots, you have 4 first level spells, so that's at least 4 minutes to prepare a new list. It says you can change your list, and when preparing a new list, it requires time studying. Nowhere in here does it say that you have to prepare spells that you already have prepared. If you don't want to change the list the next day, you don't have to prepare it. You've already got them. Ritual casting. You can cast a wizard spell as a ritual if the spell has the ritual tag and if you have the spell in your spellbook. You don't need to have the spell prepared. And if you recall from Uh-Oh, It's Magic, you don't expend a spell slot by casting a ritual spell. So that comes in really handy for wizards. They don't have to prepare their ritual spells. They can repair their regular spells, and anything with a ritual tag they can leave unprepared. At any time they can cast it as a ritual spell, and it doesn't expend a spell slot. As long as it doesn't even say casting at higher levels or anything. It does not say that. The nature of the rule for others, I would say, as long as it's cast at its level. If it's cast higher, might have to expend the spell slot. That's up to your DM. It's not in the book, but every other instance, that's kind of how it goes. Learning spell slots, first level and higher. Each time you gain a wizard level, you can add 2 wizard spells of your choice to your spellbook for free. So you go to level 2, you're adding 2 level 1 spells. You go to level 3, now you have a second level spell slot. You can add level 1s, you can add 1 and a 2, you can add 2 2s. But you get 2 per level. So this is kind of interesting. It really is. And we're going to go over to the sidebar for your spellbook, where the spellbook represents research that you have done on your own, intellectual breakthroughs that you have had about the nature of the multiverse. You can find other spells during your adventures You could discover a spell recorded on a scroll in an evil wizard's chest, for example, or in a dusty tome in an ancient library. If you find a spell that way, you can copy it into your spell book, as long as you have spell slots that allow you to cast that spell. So if you only have 4th level spell slots and it's a 6th level spell, you cannot copy it into your book. Not at this time. Perhaps at a later time you could. Hang on to it for later. If you copy someone else's spell into your spell book, it involves reproducing the basic form of the spell, then deciphering the unique system of notation used by the wizard who wrote it. You must practice the spell. You must understand the sounds and gestures required. Then transcribe it into your own spell book using your own notation. Now, there is a cost that represents material components you expend as you experiment with the spell as you master it, and the finance needed to record it. For copying someone else's spell into your book because you're not familiar with it, it takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold piece per spell level. That's level 1. Level 6 would be 12 hours and 300 gold pieces. Level 9, 18 hours and 450 gold pieces. This would be a good thing to do for downtime in between adventures in your campaign. You've got some spells, you've got some money. Downtime, I'm going to copy these spells into my spell book, so that way it's more spells that you can draw from. You can replace the book or copy the book. If you're copying your own spells into another book, so say you have a backup spell book, that only takes 1 hour and 10 gold pieces for each level of the copied spell. So a level 9 of somebody else's is 18 hours and 450 gold pieces. You already know yours, so it only takes 9 hours and 90 gold pieces. You've still got to learn it, you've still got to prepare it and have it down pat before you copy it, so there's still some cost involved, and that's always flexible with your DM. But you need to keep your spell book, because if something happens to your spell book, like if you lose it or if it's destroyed, you can use the same procedure to transcribe the spells that you have prepared. That means the ones that you have prepared at that time into a new spell book. And it's only the copying your own spells cost, the lower one. However, all the other ones you had in it, if you don't find it, they're gone, and you've got to do it all over again. So the spell book or a backup spell book is very, very important to a wizard in D&D 5th edition. What it looks like is up to you. Decorative flourishes, embedded stones, leather-bound journal, gilt-edged tome, whatever you want, however gaudy you want it to look, totally up to you. That's a personal thing. Now something else, and we're nearing the end of the video, but Arcane Recovery, top page 115. You have learned to regain some of your magic energy by studying your spellbook. Once per day, when you finish a short rest, you can choose expended spell slots to recover. They have a combined level that is equal to or less than half of your wizard level, rounded up. So let's say you're a 1st level wizard. Half of that is half, rounded up as 1. You can recover 1 expended spell slot after a short rest. 4th level wizard, half of that is 2. You can recover 2 spell slots, either 2 1st level spell slots or 1 2nd level spell slot after a short rest. And that is, 4th level wizard. You have 4 wizard levels in your character. Spell mastery and signature spells. You can check those out on your own, but they are involved with your spell book as well. 2 things to really point out. Wizards having to prepare and having to have the book and everything. At first I was like, man, why would I want to be a wizard? Well, say you look at a sorcerer. At level 17, they know 15 spells that they can draw on at any time. They don't have to prepare them. They know 15 spells and 1 9th level spell. And that's it. They top off. Only 15 spells. Your spell book, at 1st level, you start with 6 1st level spells. Every level after that, you add 2. That's 19 more levels, 38, 44 spells in your spell book that you can draw from at any time by preparing them. It's a lot more than the sorcerer has available. A lot more. A whole lot more. And let's say you have your intelligence modifier and your wisdom level. You can't go any higher than 20, so that's a +5. And your wizard level, say you are level 16, that's 21 spells that you can prepare that day. And at 16, you would be up to an 8th level spell slot. Not quite 9th, that comes to 17, but that's a lot of spells to be able to prepare. Here's another cool thing. The next day, after a long rest, all of your spell slots are returned to you. Since you decide, I'm going to keep these spells, you don't have to prepare spells. So you go along, and we're saying again that you are level 16, so that gives you 8 spell slots with your arcane recovery you can get back. So let's say you cast a 4th level spell, a 2nd level spell, a couple of 1st level spells, and a minor little skirmish. Take a short rest. Use those 8 points to get all of those spell slots back, and then be like, I think I'm going to prepare a different list, because you haven't done it since your long rest was completed. I'm going to prepare a different list, and then spend your time to prepare that list if you anticipate needing something else or something different. Kind of a cool way to do it for a wizard. But I wanted to make this short video on spell books for wizards, and I've been doing a lot of reading on wizards, and it's really, really kind of cool. Really looking at the wizard class really hard. So yeah, that's it. If you liked the video, if you found it useful, please hit the like, hit the thumbs up down there, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the little dinger bell thingy next to the word subscribed, so that way you'll know whenever content is uploaded to the channel. Share me with your friends. Guys, this is Sneaky Pete with Sneaky Shoot RPG. Keep those ones a-coming, guys. Take care.